Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Prince Automation Destination. So in our last lecture of collections sorting series, we covered very important interfaces in Java, that is comparable and comparator, and then we discussed their respective use cases as well, where to use comparable and where to use comparator, and how to implement comparable and comparator. In case you are not familiar with what is comparable and comparator and how to use it in Java, I'll request you to please take a look on my previous videos to gain some good understanding around comparable and comparator. This will help you understanding the current lecture. So in today's lecture, we'll be discussing about the differences and similarities between the comparable and comparator. So let us start with the similarities. So comparable and comparator both are interfaces. So this is first similarity, and comparable and comparator both are used to achieve the sorting in Java. So this is another similarity. Now moving on to the differences. Comparable belong to a separate package which is java.lang package, while comparator belong to java.util package. Now comparable is used to implement the natural sorting. So this is already covered when the same class to which we want to sort has implemented its own sorting. That sorting is known as natural sorting, and same is possible using comparable. And on the other hand, comparator is used to define the custom sorting. In these cases, we'll have to rely on the external classes. So if we move on to the second difference, same class has to implement comparable interface to define the natural sorting. And in case of comparator, external class needs to implement comparator to define the custom sorting for the custom class variable, sorry. Comparable has compare to method. So whichever class will be implementing comparable has to implement compare to method, and as a result will define the sorting logic in the compare to method. While in comparator we have compare method. This is similar to compare to, and in this case the logic for sorting is defined under the compare method. Comparable is useful when we want to sort the class based on only one parameters. So uh, for example, we have employee class and we have two instance variables, employee name and employee ID, and we want to sort it either based on name or based on ID. Then in those cases we go for comparable. And suppose we want to sort based on name as well as ID, in those cases we go for the comparator. In case you are unable to understand more on this difference, I'll request you to please check out the previous video to gain some good understanding on how to implement comparable and comparator for custom classes. This will give you good idea to understand this particular difference. Now what is the syntax to implement comparable? So we want to sort the objects of employee class. So the class employee itself will implement the comparable interface, and the class will need to be passed into the angular brackets here as well, and as a result we'll have to implement the compare to method. In case of comparator, if you see, I have taken one external class, right? This will be implementing comparator, and again we'll have to pass the class for which we want to sort the objects, right? Now what is the sorting syntax? So this is how we have implemented the sorting. The next thing is how to achieve the sorting. So in order to achieve the sorting, we have one method, collections.sort. So in case we are implementing sorting based on comparable, so we can simply pass this particular list of employees, and this list contains list of custom class objects which we want to sort. So if we will do like this, collections.sort list, it will sort based on the sorting defined by this particular comparable implementation. And in case of comparator, what is the method? So there is another method of collections which is sort. Again it will accept list as a first argument, and second argument would be the class object, right, which has implemented comparator. So in this case, this particular class has implemented comparator, so we need to pass the object of it. So this is how we can achieve custom sorting, and this is what I wanted to cover as part of comparable and comparator differences. And this is very important from the interview perspective and is widely asked during the interviews. So thank you guys. I would request you to please like, share and subscribe. Thank you once again.